What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back, as always, for another new episode. It's been a crazy summer. School's right around the corner. I should be on, let me think if I could do my numbers right. I should be on around day 29-ish of the 75 hard challenge that I've been doing. It has not been easy by any stretch. I feel great. I feel healthier than I've ever been. Just trying to strive to be better one day at a time, and that's all you can do. If you're new here or you're a fan, please make sure that you just leave a follow. Follow me on Instagram, or just be sure to follow wherever it is you get your podcast. Give me 5 stars. I'm not trying to sound greedy, but I'd appreciate that. Share the podcast to a friend, a neighbor, cousin, uncle, auntie, grandparents, whoever. Whoever you feel like would be interested in listening. I'd really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you. With that said, my next guest that I have on is an incredible personality, someone who's well known at CCSU, an incredible tour guide, incredible, I guess you could say, member of the radio room? I should totally know how to say that. It's been a long day. All right, I'm tired. But this guy's awesome. He's the man. Journalist on the rise, up and coming, superstar journalist, the man himself, Lucas. Enjoy. Have a good one. Have a good day. Have a good night. Good evening. Whenever it is that you're listening. Really appreciate you. All right, let's get to it. Here we go. I don't think you need a sound check. I'm sure you hate your voice just like I hate mine.
Yeah, it gets annoying after a while. I especially hate listening to it when I, go back and listen to recorded stuff, and I'm like, oh, fuck,
Yeah. So how did you learn how to edit when it came to, do you edit your own stuff when it comes to the radio, or, do you record anything just to share after?
In terms of the radio, sometimes, I'll, record stuff just for, fun, really. But my thing with the radio is more, that's, a platform for me to just, play my expansive list of songs on, really. That's
right.
That's my big outlet for that. And, sometimes I'll have a friend on, I'll throw a question in.
Yeah.
Last semester and the semester before I was trying to do that, but I was trying to do that within the normal hours, not the safe harbor hours. So sometimes it would get a little raunchy. I'll say that. Yeah, and we're just really trying to beat around the bush, because obviously FCC has their own guidelines when it comes to that stuff. But I'm really trying to pursue a safe harbor show for this coming semester. I think that would be just a fun thing to do.
Do you have any, or how should I say this? What is your song, or why do I keep saying song today? Your music genre. What kind of music do you play? Just anything that you like? Or?
I really play a whole mix of variety. But if you really had to ask me the more common music I play, it's more just alternative indie sort of vibes on my show. And then sometimes I also throw in some something a little harder, grunge, and then sometimes I just put in lighter pop or R&B, that kind of thing too as well. So it goes all over the place.
So you must like Nirvana, because you said
I
grunge.
I will say I do like Nirvana a lot.
Okay.
As well.
And then you said indie, so do you like Mac DeMarco and Tame Impala?
I do like them too, but I also do a bunch of other different indie artists
of course.
as well. Yeah. One of my favorites is Wilco.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of them. Well, maybe I'll have to recommend a song
yeah,
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they're one of my all-time favorite bands. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So what got you into radio in the first place?
So my story with the station is that was my freshman year. That was my first semester. So I graduated high school back in 2020. I took a gap year in between because that was during the COVID year, and I was just I do not want to shell out money.
Wait, during college you took a gap year, or before college?
Before college. I graduated high school 2020.
Damn, so you're one of those?
Yeah, and then I
students?
took a gap year because I was I do not want to pay for online courses. That's just not an environment I was going to see myself being successful in.
Yeah.
Granted, it could have been totally done with my major at the time because I was a marketing major and everything is just collaborative, and that can be all done online. But
what a turnover of events that's happened since, huh?
Yeah, no, a lot happened in that year, and it's really weird, looking back now, at that whole year and everything that happened as a result of it.
Unreal. Yeah, I was talking with my last guest about that, about what COVID was like for them. I love talking to people about their COVID stories. If you have any, please.
Oh, I
feel
got
free to
plenty of
share.
COVID
Yeah, yeah.
stories.
What was your household like when shit was going down?
So when shit hit the fan, it was me, my mom, my stepdad, and my sister and stepsister were all home pretty much. My aunt actually ended up getting COVID, like in the beginning too.
When nobody knew what exactly it was?
Well, she got it because in February, the month before, she had a student return from a trip abroad with, all the symptoms, fever, runny nose,
Oh my
all
God.
that stuff. And she's like, oh, whatever. And then, ended a month, she literally had to, be, hospitalized because it was getting, really, really bad.
That's insane.
But she was in there for, I think, a week or two. But it took her a while to recover, too. I remember it took her a while to recover as well. But the weird thing is that we had actually been in contact with them before, like a week before she got really, really sick and had to go to the hospital, because we kind of were trying to keep our circle small. We had them over for a dinner, pizza night sort of thing.
Right.
But I didn't get sick. My parents didn't get sick. None of my siblings got sick. My aunt and my uncle and my cousin also didn't get sick either. So she was just the one who got it. So
right.
It was really, really weird.
Yeah. So when you were told that you weren't going to have prom and that you weren't going to be able to do as many things and you had to just pretty much stay inside, what was going on with you personally?
So I was bummed out, I will say that. I mean, I actually did not have... I remember we had, because I was a part of DECA, which is the marketing club.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That
No,
all the high
DECA's
schools,
the best. I know
yeah,
DECA.
exactly.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And I had done well at the competition.
Did you ever have to do Shark Tank or anything?
It was, so basically I did a professional selling project, and I pitched a collaborative software program for offices to use to a group of judges. And I placed, and I was going to be able to go to a national event that they were having in Nashville. And that was going to be in April. And we had paid, at that point, we had paid, the upfront cost for the trip. There was, a non-refundable fee. So, yeah.
Come on.
That was a really tough time, I will say that.
No, they should have made it up in some sort of way.
Absolutely. There's a lot of events. I heard a lot of people, had to go through similar situations, whatever, club trips and that sort of thing. But it was... That, no prom, no nothing, pretty much, no senior picnic, none of that. Me and my friends would meet up, but we were just we'd meet up in the Cove parking lot and open the backs of our cars up and just chill out back there.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and I did have one or two friends that I kept in my circle.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I wasn't really going out too much. I was either home, inside, pretty much, watching a lot of different, trying to, catch up on, different shows, movies, that sort of thing.
Naturally.
Of course, listening to music, just trying to keep myself entertained. I also tried doing a little bit of reading as well during that time, too.
Nice.
I had some good books that I read. But I also was trying to bike more during that time as well, because I figured...
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's, the one thing you can... outdoor stuff was good during that time, because, you don't have to be... really around people. It just depends on the activity you do. I mean, I did a lot of road biking during that time as well.
How many miles did you bike a day on average?
I was always trying
keep track of that?
I was always trying to do 20 or 30 a day. Yeah, well,
damn, that must have ran you from what time would you normally start biking?
Weathersfield, my town.
Yep.
And then I would usually go either across the river to Glastonbury, Manchester, Hebron, that area, and bike around, or I would go through Newington, down to Berlin, Southington, that area, and then come back up.
What time would you normally start that, though?
It really depended on the day. Most of the times I try to get that going by, midday, and then try to be back for the evening.
Damn. Good for you.
Yeah, no, that was
Way to
definitely...
stay in shape.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm still biking a lot these days. Granted, I'm doing more mountain biking because... I don't know. I think I noticed, especially, after COVID, there's definitely, a carelessness among drivers, especially in this area.
Oh, for sure. It's rough.
And, I was I had, a few close calls, and I was just I think I'm going to take a break from this until further notice. But I originally started with mountain biking,
What got you into that?
So I started that in 2014 or 15. I did it competitively for a little bit, too, with this group called the Connecticut Cycling Advancement Program, CCAP. and I was part of a small team. Like, they would have practices, but we would also have like races and stuff that were all around the state. So like they had like a giant one down in Hamden at West Rock. They had another one that I can remember that was also in, I want to say that was Mansfield. Yeah, I think that was it. That was such a long time ago now. Like, really trying to dig my brain for that. Right. But yeah, no, that's kind of where like I really started to get more into it. But I also had parents who mountain biked, so like, you know, it's like
why don't you pick it back up?
What?
Why don't you pick it back up like competitively?
The competitively part really just because of time for one.
Oh, for sure. Of course,
like
we're all busy
school,
these days.
Work, like that is my cycle pretty much, you know.
Yep.
For like 9-10 months out of the year.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just prefer to do it like leisurely with like a friend or like on my own, to be honest with you.
Right. I
like,
gotcha.
It's more fun that way. I think I feel about it now because I wanted to do it because I just liked it a lot. Like, you know, going into woods for a few hours, knocking out a few trails, you know, was a lot of fun. But when you were trying to do it competitively, it just kind of like exhausted you, and then you didn't want to go and do it on your own.
So would you say that overall you enjoyed your COVID experience, as shitty as the circumstances were? Do you feel like you took advantage of that time and kind of found a way to better yourself in that way?
Oh, absolutely. For that year I was working pretty much close to full time. I was actually working at Trek in Newington, which is right down the street from here.
What is it?
It's the bike shop that's next to like Carvel.
Oh, get out of here!
Yeah.
That's where you worked?
I worked at that bike shop. Yeah, I will say I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but things did not end well with them because that's how companies are. But
gotcha.
But that was a good experience. You know, like I was just working on bikes. I made a lot of good friends and connections, and I'm still good friends with a few people from that shop to this day too. Like I was talking to one of my friends on the phone last night, and I was like, we definitely need to like get together and like just do like a picnic or something and catch up. Like that would just be fun.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it didn't feel as isolating as it was. It was also a good time also to just make some bad decisions and, you know, learn from them as well. I will say that.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely. But I also tried, you know, bike a lot as well, just, you know, keep myself active. And I also was obviously, you know, getting ready to go back to school as well because I knew for a fact I was going to go to Central. It's just I didn't want to pay for online classes.
What ended up, or what circumstances or factors, or what about CCSU made you want to go there of all schools? Totally okay if it's a bland answer.
I mean, for one, it was affordability.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, lowest tuition in the state for a 4-year university.
I didn't even know that. I just applied there because it was close.
Yeah, I mean, it was not bad. I mean, that was another thing too. It was like close to home because I didn't want to have to pay room and board and have more loans that I would have to pay back. So that was the big decision to go there. But also, I was originally in the marketing program, which is in the School of Business, and they have that accreditation. That like it's only like a handful of schools.
It's a nice Vance. That's such a nice building.
It is. I'm a media studies minor now, so like all my classes for that pretty much are in that building. That whole department's in there. But yeah, I've had a good amount of my classes in that building too. And but also, I mean, like, you know, like I think once I started like getting more involved with the stuff on campus, as well as kind of where I started to really like the school more.
Oh, yeah.
And this is kind of where, you know, it circles back to your first question as well, like what got you into the radio. So my first semester was kind of rough. I was only a part-time student at that time, taking like free courses, but I was also working another job off campus. So it was a little rough, and it felt a little isolating at times as well. I really didn't feel like I had found my circle yet to say, but like, you know, I just wanted something to do because I left because things went south with that job, and then I picked up another job. And then I also just, you know, I was like, okay, I have a little more time next semester, so I want to get involved with something. So I went by radio station, scanned the QR code that they have in the little window, and then had a meeting, went for the whole training process, which was like 2 weeks long. It did kind of get hampered, though, because I had COVID during that time, so I couldn't take my test afterwards. I had to wait 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But I had Gil. Gil was the guy who trained me.
Okay. Shout out to Gil.
Yep, Gil Gelati. He has his show, Frank Gill and Friends. It's every Tuesday morning.
Well, great plot. Yeah, you're lucky you got Lucas here.
Yeah, exactly. But he was a really good person to train with, too. He's also a really good professor as well. I've heard nothing but great things.
Yeah. He's the man. Courses. He's always walking on the track.
Yeah, always.
Always walking on the track.
And whenever I bring a tour for there, you know what he always says? What's the best club on campus? And I go, WFCS.
He's such a positive guy.
He really is.
He's a Bengals fan, too. He, when we all had to wear masks on campus. Every time you saw him, you'd be like, "Gosh, you never see Bengals fans around here." And I was like, "Oh my God!" He's like, "Yeah, I'm from Ohio." And yeah, I got to know him decently well. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he is a really, really good guy, and it was really fun to train with him too.
Yeah.
You know, get to know like all those rules and everything
Right.
as well. Did my thing, got all testing done, everything past that. Kind of narrowly though, because again, my knowledge had kind of just like during a few weeks I was sick, but it's been a lot of fun to have that show. Let me tell you, like just play like a constant like different rotating list of music. I'm really trying to work on like getting different like getting more like artists and stuff as well as different genres on my show as well, because it's just I'm in the rock department, quote unquote, but like I don't stick to that all the time. That's the thing. That's why part of me is like like I don't. Well, I'm not going to confirm anything, but I have thought about moving to 200's department just because like there's like a little more variety in what I could play there, I guess. But I really, I'm at a point where I kind of just want to like play more on my show.
Gotcha.
A bunch of different things. And also like, I want to do more talk as well too. It's like if I have that time, because if you do a 2-hour show, it's like, it's so exhausting, like trying to put together like a 2-hour playlist and get to a point where you're just like, I've run out of songs. New songs I want to put on here, so I just put on a bunch of old ones. That's where I was getting to last semester. Granted, I didn't do my show a lot last semester because I was just so busy, but I'm trying to find a better time for this semester.
Couple things. One, that segue that you had where you said to circle back to your first question was tremendous.
Thank you.
I give you kudos for that. Second, we haven't even brought it up yet. Shout out to WFCS 107.7 The Edge, New Britain, Hartford.
New Britain, Hartford, The Edge, yep.
Yeah.
Where the music still matters.
There we go.
Yep.
It's great to have you on, Lucas.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah,
I'm trying to make
definitely.
my rounds with the journalism department, little by little over time.
Little by little, yep. Like I know you had Maldo on here. Did you have?
I've had Sophia on.
Sophia, yeah.
I've had Palumbo on.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't want to make sure I missed anybody else. I think that's it for now.
Did you have like Alexis on your show or anything?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet, Miss Dasher, if you're watching. In due time.
Maybe you might have to get her on too.
Yeah, I know. I promised, and
She's
I told her
doing a lot of local stuff now too.
Yeah, I've been seeing that.
So.
I've been seeing everyone's doing their thing. Everyone's killing the game. Aldo's killing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know. Sophia's been cooking up too when it comes to sports and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everyone's been doing their thing, which is great to see. You love to see it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just what we want to see more of in journalism.
Right. So speaking of that, let's talk about your journey a little bit.
Yeah.
So Lucas comes to CCSU. He's trying to find his clique. He's uncertain of his major, I'm sure, because clearly eventually you made the switch.
Yeah, no, because I did my first semester and I had a really good intro marketing course. Like,
and was that the fall of 2020?
Fall of 2021.
One, because you took the gap year.
Yep.
So, actually, you know what? Pause. Interlude. So what happened in that gap year? Because I've taken a gap year as well.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it's like to take a gap year, and it's very nice to talk to people that have taken gap years.
Absolutely.
So what was that like for you? And did you get any negative feedback from people, or was it more of you knew you were going to college, you just wanted to take the year to like figure things out, or what was that like? Tell me about it.
I really just wanted to take the year to figure things out, really, because
Wasn't it great though?
It was honestly
beneficial.
I didn't regret it one bit. I mean, there's definitely some things I wish I had done differently, but I do differently now. So
hey, you live and you learn.
Exactly. But it was a really beneficial time for me. I mean, for one, working, like having like a good like routine.
Right.
As well. I wasn't just sitting at home all the time.
A little taste of the real world.
Yep, as well. I mean, also like working for Trek, like they had me traveling around a little bit too as well. They had me travel to a shop that was in New Jersey. They also had me travel to a shop in Rhode Island to help build bikes to open those up.
Did you have to bike over there to set up the bike? I'm just kidding.
I had to.
Just kidding.
Yep, I had to drive there.
Imagine that was in the job.
But they compensated me for my miles, though, so that
was
not bad.
I wish CCSU did that for commuters.
Yeah, honestly.
Imagine that. If they were able to somehow calculate the amount of miles you travel back and forth from school to home, and they somehow found a way to make it a percentage and made it a discount at the school store.
Oh.
That's just a thing that I've personally...
Or just reimburse us, because now I need new tires. Because now I just need new tires for my car, so...
Oh my gosh. Tires are so damn expensive. It's insane.
Tell me about it.
Everything's so expensive.
That
Growing up sucks.
It does. It really does. And
it's not fun.
Yeah. But it was a beneficial time.
Right.
Refreshing. I still had a routine again. Like, I wasn't just, lazing around, but it really like, like having a routine as well, and also, like still having like a close circle of people as well. Like I had obviously like my family there to support me, and I also had a few friends as well.
Right.
Granted, after high school, I did kind of like taper off on talking to a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens
always
to
how
everybody.
that goes. I feel like I'm talking to like 2 people from my high school now.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens, and it's kind of sad. But I don't know if there has to be some sort of calculation or thing out there. But I once heard that like once you graduate high school, there's like a certain number as to or percentage as to like the friends you grew up with, how many of them you truly stick to or stick by your side, like post high school or like post all middle school, elementary school, like your childhood best friends, like till now. Like I'm sure you've had many different friend groups or friends, and now here you are now.
Yeah,
it's just time doing its thing, and you finding, who you're meant to be around.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will say like my high school experience was definitely probably different than most other people's. I mean, for one, like, I definitely was involved as well. Like, I was involved in, like, DECA. I was also, I ran cross-country and track competitively.
Nice.
For all 4 years. But I still didn't feel like I ever really had, like, a solid clique I was with. Like, I was friends with the cross-country guys. There's a few people I could connect to, but, like, some of the other people I was just, like, kind of, huh.
What was your mile pace? Just out of curiosity.
Mile pace?
Yeah.
I think my fastest one was, like low 6s.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I've been getting back into running. Tuesday, so we're recording this on a Friday. This past Tuesday, tried to run a mile for the first time, and God knows how long.
Oh yeah, that
was
a
rough.
One
my lungs were just on fire.
Were you trying to do that on a track or
no in this neighborhood?
In this neighborhood, oh.
Yeah, I have the not sponsored by them, but I have the Under Armour app, and it's fantastic. They have this thing where they can like track your pace and everything like that. It's sick. But ran 12:30. Then Wednesday ran 11:30, and then yesterday ran 10:30, which is or not 10:30. So I'm gonna wait, recover for the next few days, and then
that's always good to take time to recover after that, especially if you haven't done it in a long time.
But I've been getting into it.
It definitely
it's nice. I feel so at peace when I finish running. I'm covered in sweat.
That's how I feel after a mountain bike ride, to be honest with you. Yeah, like I did a mountain bike ride yesterday at Case Mountain Park, which is. It's like it's got like a north and a south part to it. One part of it is in Manchester, and it has the main peak, and there's a southern part of it that is like more on the Glastonbury side, more towards like Hebron Ave, if you know where that is.
My geography's a little trash, but I got you.
Yeah, I was a geography kid.
I got you though.
But
I follow.
Yeah, I've been mountain biking there for like 9 years now. But
so I'm assuming you have a mountain bike.
Yeah.
And and don't they have? Because I'm pretty sure I used to have one growing up. Because it's the one that has like the little gears or like the, like don't they have something on it to make it like the wheels tighter or something like that? Like you can adjust something on the bike.
Oh, like
to help you with
gears. Yeah.
Yeah, that helps you with.
I have a geared mountain bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my bike, the one I have right now, is a bike that I literally just pieced together like during my gap year, just for funsies. Because I had a mountain bike that I really liked. But I outgrew it, and then I was just like, I can't ride this anymore. And I actually sold it off recently to a kid who was actually around the age I was when I started mountain biking.
Wow.
Who was going to be riding it. So, like, that felt really good to, again, like, pass that torch on to someone.
Right.
But the bike I have right now, I literally just slapped together with whatever I had lying around. I've had to, like, replace, obviously, wear and tear items on it over the past 2 years. But, like, it's just been, it's a solid bike, for one, because you can mountain bike with it. But you can also like go on like a gravel road or rail trail with it. You can even just like use it to go around the neighborhood. Like I built it up just as the purpose of being like just a utilitarian sort of bike. It's not just to one discipline.
What's the highest mountain you've ever gone up on a bike?
On a bike? Ooh, that's a hard one. I personally...
In state or out of state?
Probably that would have to be... Honestly, I think that might be in state. And I think honestly, like at this moment, I think it's probably I have managed to bike. I mean, obviously Case Mountain, again, the Lookout in Manchester.
Yep.
And then I've been to top of Talcott Mountain as well on my bike.
Where's that?
It's like Avon, Farmington area.
Dang.
It's like a giant ridge.
When you go mountain biking, are the trails easy to follow along? I mean, I'm sure it's not easy when it comes to like scaling the damn mountain or whatever it is, but is there like a nice and I don't want to say nice and neat trail, but it's easy enough to like get through?
Oh, it
to
really
kind
it
of
also
zigzag your way up or whatever it is.
it also really absolutely depends on where you go because again,
sure.
like the terrain is going to be so much different. Like at Case Mountain, like the trails have been used so much over the years that everything's just very like well worn in. It's pretty defined as to where you're supposed to go. Mm-hmm. And then like you're like some other places where trails like aren't as maintained, and it's like it's literally just like biking for a fucking shrub. So again, it really just depends on where you go. But
How do you prepare for something like that?
how do I prepare for something like that? So just to get like
This is interesting. You're like the first person I think that does this that I've had on here.
So to prepare for mountain biking, really, I mean, for one, obviously, like I find a spot wherever it is. Like it could be Case, it could be West Hartford, it could be West Rockingham. That's one of my ever favorite spots. I just pack my bike stuff in my car, so like the bike itself, also like helmet, shoes, gloves, all that important stuff. I always recommend riding with a helmet though because I have seen accidents before. They're not pretty.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Get there, and then I just if I'm familiar with the place, like I just go right down the road, as to where I know I'm gonna go.
But how do you get used to like the or how do you build up the stamina? Well, for you, you're already in shape. But if you were to give advice to somebody that's trying to get into it, how do you think they should go about it? Like to train when it comes to like learning how to scale up a mountain or how to build up their pace when it comes to biking in general. Like what tips do you have?
Number one, and this goes even for like running and that sort of thing, don't go out fast in the beginning of your ride. Because if you burn all that energy off, you're going to regret it at the end of the ride if you have like a large incline you got to go up or something.
Right.
So I always say, like, for beginners, start slow for one. Also, pick a place also like that is like somewhat familiar as well. So like my big recommendation for people who want to start mountain biking in this state is go to West Hartford Reservoir. They have at least I think like 10, 20 miles worth of trails there, but they're all pretty easy to navigate as well. Everything's very clearly marked and well maintained because again, MDC owns the area. And even like if you don't want to go like down like like the really like like harder single track sort of trails, like you also have like plain gravel trails as well that you can just go and have fun on.
Do you also hike?
I also hike as well. I've been hiking since I was literally like an infant.
You seem like someone. Okay, tell me if you haven't heard this, because it's okay if you haven't. But I feel like all the things that you're saying gives me the vibe that you're gonna climb Mount Everest. You ever thought about climbing like all the bigger time mountains out there in the world? You seem like you're built for it. Cross country, you've already done that.
There is one,
bike all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
There is one specific place I do want to go to before I die, to go like on an expedition or go hiking. I want to go to Patagonia mountain range in Chile and Argentina.
Wow.
It's such a beautiful landscape down there, and again that's like you're more towards the bottom of the world really.
Damn.
But the scenery is so gorgeous. Again, like that would be something fun to do an expedition on one day.
Wait, what's the place called?
Patagonia. And just type in Argentina.
Oh, let me take a look at this. Oh. That's beautiful.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've been
wanting to
go there for like the longest time.
I hear that. And how did that come across for you?
That came across really just, I mean, for one, I was always kind of like obsessed with geography. At one point when I was younger, that was probably like middle school time. And I remember just I'd look at a map and I'd look up an area and be like, okay, I want a Google photo from here. And I don't know, I must have looked up that at some point, and I just was like mesmerized by how beautiful the scenery was.
The world is certainly a beautiful place at times.
Absolutely.
Whenever it wants to be. Mm-hmm. So, during these times, not so much. But yeah. I hear that. I hear that for sure. So lots of mountain biking.
Yeah.
Lots of mountain biking. And what else? What else did you do? And you worked.
I worked.
Was there any things in between? What else was going on? I'm sure you were probably thinking about your future.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking. There was a period in time where I was kind of like, I might get stuck working for the rest of my life. Like, might be fine with that. But then part of me also was like, what the fuck? Like, there is definitely more for me to explore out there. And even if I go to college and it's like, I don't I go into this program and I don't like it. It's like, okay, well, I can obviously pick from something else as well. And obviously, I wound up switching my major. So
to where you are now.
To where I am now, yeah.
And all right, so let's talk about it. Interlude over.
Yeah.
What got you into journalism, my friend?
I think for one, I am a strong writer. Always been a strong writer. So
since when?
Oh, like elementary school.
Really?
Like, yeah. Like I always wanted to like. I remember second grade. I even did like an extra sort of project. It wasn't obviously related to my class, but it was like a project I wanted to do about the Revolutionary War, and I wrote like a whole essay about it.
Damn, just because you wanted to?
Yeah, no, literally. And we put together like a whole fucking like presentation for it and everything.
Just because you wanted to do it?
Just because I wanted to do it.
Nah, that is insane.
I just was kind of like, okay, like this is fun to learn about this in second grade, but at the same time, it's like when I find a topic, I will hyperfixate on it and want to talk about it or do something about it. Like
shit, I didn't even know what my favorite color was in second grade, and here you are writing about the revolution.
It's okay. I didn't know what my favorite color was. I liked red. I liked blue.
Yeah, I liked the whole damn rainbow. That's what I liked at the time. I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah, that's sick. But so you knew you were a strong writer.
Strong writer.
Always had a knack for it.
Yep. I think also like during my COVID year, I kind of realized, I think for one, I missed social interaction a lot. Like it was definitely like, obviously there's a few people around, but just being out and about in like large groups of people, talking to new and interesting people. Of course, that's something I missed. And then obviously, just like, again, the whole writing component, but also like, news and information as well. Something that I always was really interested in too. And especially also, like, obviously, like, there was a lot of upheaval during that year, like, socially, worldwide. And it's like,
oh my God. You're telling me.
It's like, it's so weird to look back at that now.
Yeah. Yes, it's certainly an interesting time to be a journalist.
Oh, absolutely.
During the fake news era.
The
fake news.
Quote-unquote fake news era. Yeah. Well, we define fake news as anything that, so you have your two classes of like misinformation, disinformation, news that is purposely spread to misinform people, and then news that like, was also deliberately meant to misinform people. People just kept spreading it, especially like, on Facebook and that sort of phenomenon.
I'm sure the headline to something is always what throws people off. I feel like that's something you probably learn about, I guess, right? How they talk about like how they hook people in.
Yeah.
Like the first 10 words you see, like this person caught doing this, it's like they literally weren't even doing anything. Just like a random example. But I'm sure that first thing you see right before like you can click the link to truly read the full article, even if it's fake, is you see an image of somebody and it just says something about them and you're like, oh, I guess they did that.
But I definitely, again, like just like kind of like, was like, I want to be able also like make a dent somewhere in someone's life, obviously, and I feel like this is like the best way to do it, plus my writing skills as well.
Hell yeah.
So that's how I ended up here, pretty much. And at this point, I'm going into my third year here.
Here we go.
At this school. I'm also writing for Recorder as well. That's the school's newspaper.
Shout out
to Recorder. Yep, we're going to be definitely putting out some more stuff this coming semester. So please read us for the love of God. I swear, we're putting out some interesting stuff. Like last semester, we were starting to really, really get it like revamped and get like a consistent cycle of news going.
Yeah.
So like even if it's just like a feature about, like I did a feature about the concert. I also did
a little Young Gravy action.
Yep. That was actually a weird day to cover because we had come from an event in Rhode Island. I drove all the way back from
yeah, that's right, the Rhode Island trip.
Yeah,
I know all about that.
Yeah, you know the lore. Lots of lore. We'll not go into it, but
the Rhode Island lore.
Much lore.
Yeah, oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then after that, we came back, and then like me and Maddie, who's my friend, she was also shout out Maddie Wilson. She also, me and her had gone out, gotten some food and drinks. We came back and we went to cover the show. Like she was going around taking photos. She got some really stellar photos as well. Like,
she's brilliant. Yeah, I've had class with her. Insane.
Yeah, no, she's really good. Big shout out to her. Again.
Yeah, no, big shout out to her. I didn't want to raise my hand to speak in class because she was just.
Yeah, no, she snap.
Oh my gosh, unreal.
but she definitely got some good photos for that. It was really good to put on like, like the Instagram and obviously like, our online newspaper. But I just went around, like trying to get people to like, interview, which was kind of harder to do in the moment because everyone's just so enamored in the concert. So it was more like, hey, wonder if you're interested in an interview. Give me your phone number. We can set up a date to do something. So that's kind of like how more that was. Cause again, it was also, like a school event that we had paid money to go to.
Do you have a personal rating for the concert? So I bought a ticket and I didn't even go.
That was a 3.5 in my experience.
Out of 10?
Oh, I thought you were out of 5. If you had to,
out of 5. Okay, I didn't know we go on 5 scales.
Oh,
okay.
My bad. But if you on a 10 scale,
so
probably
sounds about like what, like 70s? If it, like 7
yeah,
out
like
of 10? C minus
range. Because like the opener, he was really good, but it just was Ryan. No Richardson was the opener.
Yeah, he was a really like underground kind of guy, right?
Yeah,
Very
he was
small.
more like like laid back sort of vibes, which like I fucked with, but like I was just kind of like, this is not the environment I want to hear this in. Like
yeah.
And then Young Gravy was fine. I didn't really stick around for much of that though because I was so tired from that trip.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Like, I mean, driving like 4 hours round trip plus everything that happened that day was exhausting. Mm-hmm. So I just got my people, stuck around for a little bit for a concert, and then I just kind of went.
So you want to know what's hilarious? My brother, who's in the military, shout out to him, he texted me the other day, and he goes, "Hey, do you know who Young Gravy is?" I go, "Why?" He goes, "He's coming to visit my base." I go, what? Yeah, my brother's stationed in Kansas right now.
Oh, cool.
That's where he's living. And of all the places in the world, Young Gravy went there to like do like a meet and greet or something. And I was telling him, I was like, "Listen, God willing, this somehow blows up one day, and I can talk to like, more higher up people, like certain celebrities. This is no diss to Young Gravy, but I was like, DJ, like, I promise you, this isn't anything special."
Yeah.
Yeah, him and I had a little laugh about that, but I just thought that was funny as hell. Like, of course, Young Gravy somehow goes to the same area where me and my brother are at. I guess I don't know. I just thought that was funny, but you know what I still think about?
What?
How we went from, and I mean, you probably definitely knew about this, or maybe you haven't, and this is news to you. Before COVID, we were going to get Doja Cat.
Yes, I knew we were going to get Doja Cat.
I think about that maybe once a week. That we could have had Doja Cat. You
guys could have had Doja Cat at Central, and that was like when she was blowing up too.
I would have been front row.
Like, I would have been front row too.
No, like look at me,
her.
Doja. Like let me marry you. And listen, even with everything going on now with her, I still love her music. I don't care.
Yeah, I still love her music.
No,
as well.
She's great. Like I don't even care.
I think this whole summer, just with all like the pop culture war that has popped
it's
up,
insane.
it's just I feel like I feel like again all artists are flawed to a degree. Like everyone is very very flawed to a degree. Like no one's expected to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I think, I really, obviously, these people just have a bigger platform, so that's why, when they fuck up, it's like they get that attention.
Yeah. But what would you do if you just had millions of people following you on social media and your phone's just always blowing up with notifications, or every time you open your phone, people are either trash talking you or saying, they're obsessed with you, or,
for one, I could not handle that lifestyle whatsoever.
Way.
But
I think a lot of people that say they want to be famous, they want to be rich.
They want to have the money.
You can be wealthy without being famous.
Yes.
You can do that.
Yeah.
That can be done. Yeah, no. You see these people leaving their house or apartments or whatever, and people just mobbing them. How would you feel if you woke up tired from mountain biking the previous day? You're tired as hell. You just want to get your coffee and go write something at the office, and everyone's taking pictures of you, videos of you, asking you questions, and trying to interrogate you. Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah,
and then boom,
would have been
that moment right there, they're going to say, Lucas, is actually an asshole. And it's like, come on.
Yeah, no, I would get so tired of that lifestyle.
It's unreal.
Yeah, I'm someone who is a little more reserved, so.
Right. So, you're a strong writer, want to be a journalist. What are your aspirations when it comes to that? Do you want to work in any specific area? Because there's do you want to be more so on the news, when it comes to the TV aspect? Do you want to just do a lot more writing than that? Well, and obviously, like, there's like
thanks.
sports journalism, like, there's a whole different.
Yeah, thanks for
field.
bringing that up. So
Yeah.
I want to do primarily like more like written sort of reporting, like like the good old fashioned way, I guess you could say, of doing it, where you go out, you meet people, you talk to them,
Right.
you get an interview, and you come back and you put it on
Yeah.
the paper.
Is there like a dream place that you want to work for?
There's no particular dream place I would like to work for at this moment.
Yeah.
Again, there's just so many different news outlets that you could work for. It's just again really more find my niche. And at this point, when it comes to reporting, I want to do stuff that is more geared towards higher education. Higher education is definitely just such like an interesting topic to write about. And I did my final project last semester for my news writing course. I did on the tuition increases over at UConn.
They increased tuition.
They increased tuition, yep, by they were projected because again because they're semi-public university. They're not like us where we're like a completely public university. Same thing with Western, Southern, Eastern. They have their own system, but the governor proposed a budget and it was going to leave the school with a giant shortfall. So to make up for that, they were going to have to start charging people more.
No way.
Yeah.
Is it really worth it going to a school like that?
Yeah.
Or just to any of the big schools? I feel like unless you truly have money, it's not worth it.
I mean, my sister's going to UConn right now, and that's really just because she's going for biology, and UConn has a good reputation for that
Makes
as a
sense.
research school.
Yeah.
So that was like a no-brainer. And I mean, she got into other schools as well, but it was like $80K a year.
Oh my gosh. Paying that off for the rest of your freaking life.
Yeah,
a
baby.
year, not the whole time.
A year.
That's insane.
It's crazy. Yeah, no.
It's probably more than someone's damn apartment or house. Oh my
And
god.
This is why I want to cover higher education. It's a very, very human topic, and
Right.
we're all involved in it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, it's like things have changed a lot over the last 30, 40 years with higher education. Like there used to be a time where you could go to school, do all 4 years, and then graduate with no debt. That's what my mom and my dad did.
Wow, God bless them.
Yeah, granted, it took my mom 6 years, but she was taking all her main courses at UConn, but she was also taking all her gen eds and everything at Manchester.
Nice.
And just transferring them in. And that's how she graduated with no debt, plus she worked all the time. So
Nice.
that's how she did it, but obviously nowadays that's not really feasible.
So as a journalist, obviously, true journalism is supposed to be non-biased.
Non-biased.
Non-biased. Emphasize that.
Non-biased.
But, and you know what's crazy? I never even, because as a kid, honestly, I somehow made it all the way to Central without truly paying attention to politics or worrying about journalism and anything like that. I was just worried about, sports, TV, anything basic. And then I feel like right when COVID happened, whether you were in middle school or you were a senior citizen, you were exposed to this whole civil war on the vaccine and Trump and Biden and this and that, and it was just everywhere in your face. The BLM movement, it was just
everyone got
everything blew
exposure.
up. Insane. But for you, how do you feel? Do you ever struggle, or you truly feel passionate about something, but you have to just write it for what it is instead of including your opinion on it?
So this is the beauty of journalism that I like. My opinions are not anywhere to be found in my stories.
Yeah, which is good.
I'm going out, I'm talking to people, getting their piece, and then I am putting it all down.
Yeah.
On again news.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of it, and that's why I really like it for one. Because I do have
Yeah.
You obviously cannot be 100% unbiased. But the thing with journalism is again you have to, otherwise your credibility gets trashed.
So then why? I feel like I already know the answer to this, but just to get a prospect of journalism, technically you already are a journalist. So just to get your take on it, why do you think there are so many opinionated companies or places like NBC, Fox News, whatever else ones you want to name? Why do we have those? Why are those?
For one, they are all bigger networks. They have again obviously rich people are running that, and I mean, especially like, like, and obviously like the people they hire obviously are going to think a certain way. But this is the difference between like the reporting I want to do and news that you're going to get from like an MSNBC or a Fox. Okay. Those are just sound bites, and they are really trying to just appeal to their core base. So like, like obviously like, Republicans going to like, want to like go on Fox News, and because they're getting that reward again, like, like that.
You're hearing
like,
what you want to hear.
You're hearing what you want to hear, not necessarily what is right, but like, it's what you want to hear. Same thing goes for like, a Democrat who watches MSNBC,
CNN.
Granted, I keep my views out of this stuff completely, but what I like about about what I want to do with journalism is that, again, it's all just about, I want it to be about the people I'm writing about.
Nice.
It's like, because if I can have even like just a small impact on who they are, on like their lives or something, just giving them that little exposure to their story, like that is like that makes me feel good deep down, like being able to do that. Yeah.
You ever thought being one of those people on like 60 Minutes where you're the person that like has a guest on and you talk to them and have like certain questions you genuinely want to ask them?
Oh, I grew up again like watching that show. My parents loved it, and we'd watch it like every like Sunday night. Yeah, when it would come on. But right. I don't know if I could do TV journalism personally. I'm someone who just likes to be more of like a behind the scenes sort of person. Like like I go out and I talk to people, but I'm like also like I have like an office space where I can like just write this all out. Right. As well.
Is writing kind of like therapy to you?
It is like, it can be therapeutic to me in a way, because sometimes like I'll write obviously because it's my career, but also like just for like fun as well. Like even like my English courses in high school, and we were assigned like like a book, and we had to write a response on it. Or like I remember my freshman year of high school, I had a really great English teacher, and he had us basically create like our own fictional story, and that was a lot of fun to do. Like I feel like in another world I would be an English major and an author, but
why
I
not?
Ultimately.
You can still write a book.
I definitely could still write a book. I want to do that down the road, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I feel like writing a book would be very fun.
Oh, absolutely.
I've been reading a lot more this summer. Shit, I might even write a book myself. Who knows? Yeah. It's fun.
I've definitely been trying to read more this summer as well. As well as the past few months.
What you been reading?
So the book that I read that my mother actually got for me for Christmas was called Catch and Kill. It's by Ronan Farrow. Okay. Ronan Farrow is the child of Mia Farrow and Woody Allen.
I do know Woody Allen.
Yep. Okay. There's a bunch of lore behind that as well. Especially if you like research it. His story is really interesting. But he was the reporter who investigated and reported on the allegations against Harvey Weinstein, which in turn sparked the Me Too movement. Yeah. And it is such a gripping book because there were so many hoops he had to jump through to get through this. And there's people who were obviously trying to stop like this story from getting released because he was, again, like Weinstein was such like a powerful figure in that industry.
So that kind of reminds me of, I think it's Edward Snowden.
Edward Snowden.
Right? That's his name, right? Or something Snowden?
Edward Snowden, yeah.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me of that, how he was one of the most infamous whistleblowers maybe ever. Well, he's still around, obviously. He's just hiding out.
He's in exile.
Yeah, but what is your opinion on that? Do you think that's true journalism, what he did, in a way? Or like something real? Well, I'm not even saying journalism, just like in terms of exposing the truth. I guess you could say. Is that something that you, as a journalist, have respect for? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
That puts me in like sort of like a conflicted place as well. I mean, there's definitely deep systemic issues like in like our institutions across the country, and sometimes it is like someone does have to like kind of be responsible for this and say, hey, you're being lied to. Yeah, which very much people were during that time. And I will say I do have a degree of respect for him as well. Like I read a book that he wrote a while back that was very like insightful into like everything that happened that year. Granted, I was very young when that happened, so yeah. But I still remember the magnet school I went to at the time. We had like CNN Student News, and that's when I started 6th grade. That was when that shit hit the fan. Like that's when that was like all newsworthy. Right. So like I also remember like 11-year-old me like going to my mom's iPad and like searching up what happened. Like,
isn't that insane though?
Yeah.
And it's crazy how. I feel that if you were to do a general public vote I think more would be on his side than not. Because that's just a guess. I could be totally wrong. But there are a lot of things that we just take and we just accept.
Yeah, definitely.
We just kind of, because, it's not like we can really do anything about it. I think that's kind of how we all feel. It's like, well, this is an outrage, but a lot of people are very lazy when it comes to solving certain issues.
Yeah, I also feel like some people get jaded as well when they try to really insert themselves into those kind of movements, and then they're like, there's only so much I can do.
Very
like,
powerless.
This feels, yeah.
Yeah, I always make jokes how whenever I'm on my phone, sometimes I'll just talk to, I'll be like, hey, if you're listening, like stop giving me some bland ass shit on my feed.
Literally.
I'm not even kidding.
Like,
I'm not even joking. Like once in a while, I'll be honest. I mindlessly scroll sometimes.
Oh, I
just like
absolutely
anybody.
do that.
And I'll literally just scroll. I'll literally yell at my phone and be like, "Hey, start giving me some funny shit to laugh at. Like, let's go."
Oh yeah, no, when the algorithm gets all fucked up. Like,
did you hear with TikTok? Obviously everyone knows like certain aspects of TikTok and privacy breaching and all that stuff.
Yeah, obviously
but
in the news a lot.
Yeah, but I heard that they there's something where they can they have something that like scans your face, or like there's something with the app or when you're on your thing through the app. This could be totally false. That's why I'm just saying it. I saw it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is truth, but because everyone knows how there's the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard that they along with the algorithm, apparently only when you're using the app, because apparently it has access to all your other apps. That's how.
Yeah,
it
that's
can keep
the problem.
suggesting that. Yeah, so apparently it can have access to your camera. Not saying this is true. You can fact check me. I could be wrong. I'm just saying I saw this, and they look at your reactions for each TikTok to see like what they should give more to you and what not. They'll look for your like facial expressions. Like if this makes you happy and laugh, they'll show more of that.
Oh, that makes total.
That's what I heard.
Sense.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'll admit that.
I am not sure if that's like 100% true. That's something I definitely would like want to like go and look at my news sources.
Something like that's interesting, and people don't. And if it is
but
true,
it is like
if it is true, not many people know about that.
That is like really interesting to think about. I will say though,
Yeah.
and like when you look back and like start looking at your feed, and that's like, oh, that kind of makes sense. Because again, they were getting in trouble because basically like you download that and it would just leach in your entire phone. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna be honest. So for me, I feel that when it comes to Twitter and TikTok, I want to say I use them like other people do, but then again I don't, because my TikTok is filled with like the stupidest shit. Like,
oh, mine's the stupidest shit.
I
too.
I get AI voiceovers for songs and just like funny slideshows, and it's so dumb, but it makes me smile and laugh.
Yeah, no, like I saw like one day of like Plankton singing an English song. Like,
I love it.
Funny.
I love it.
It's fun.
I enjoy it. And
that's what people want.
And then on Twitter, I only just follow journalists that cover my favorite sports team. I love that.
Sports journalism is
it's so fun.
Awesome.
I love when they interview the coaches and then they bring those sound bites and they post them on YouTube or wherever, and they break down everything that happened after a practice or before and after a game. I love it all. It's so fun in that aspect. That's why I have nothing but respect for journalists, because I might not be a journalist, but I definitely know what it is they do. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. And I do have a lot of respect for sports journalists.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, it's not something I would cover because I'm just like not like insanely into sports like some other people. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely like that would be just like such a fun thing to cover.
Yeah. But I hear that, and not even I hear that Twitter is very, very toxic.
Oh,
very. But what my thing is, so when I open Twitter, I just stay on the homepage where I just look at my followers. People must swipe to the trending or the news tabs, I assume, and that's where things get ugly. Am I right on that?
Yeah, and also depends like what side.
Because I don't look on that side of that. Or I keep saying Twitter, X.
I don't fucking care. Fuck that bullshit. It's still Twitter to me.
Yeah,
that's why I knew it by.
That's what's going to. Name.
It's what's gonna always
X.
be.
Yeah.
But
all of our phones have the black X.
Yeah, I don't. I lost it on my phone when I was trying to look for it. And I was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Because I don't really use Twitter anymore.
Right.
But like when I used it, I was like mostly just like I had one account that was for like journalism purposes. That was because we had to make one for like our news writing courses. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I don't know if my professors are still going to encourage us to use it though, with the way that things are going on that app.
Do you think there will come a point in time where one of the big social media apps, like a Snapchat or an Instagram, or Threads really tried. I don't think Threads is gonna get
Threads
anywhere.
sucks.
Yeah, it was so high. It was nothing but hype. I don't know if you saw the numbers were booming the first week,
and
then a crazy plummet.
Yeah,
that was
So that's a no-go for.
Yeah, that was kind of a failure in this sense. I would like to think, but do you think that any of the big social media apps will at some point go away, or do you think they're here to stay forever?
Oh, I think that's absolutely going to happen. I mean, like you saw what happened with apps like MySpace back in the 2000s. So it's just kind of like another format came along and then took over.
Yeah.
And that just kind of like decreased in popularity to a point where again they just disappeared. So like you might see that happen with certain apps.
Maybe social media will just be all VR. You wake up in the morning, put on your VR goggles.
I don't want to live like that.
Oh, no, I don't either. But it's coming.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Scary to think about.
More
Definitely.
Technology. Every time I open my damn phone, all I see are more and more robots and things being made, and it's just giving me the heebie-jeebies, man. I don't know if you ever played the game Detroit Become Human.
I've heard of it.
It's just like the damn game. Like it feels like I'm seeing the game come to life in a way. It's a very, to give context to people, Detroit Become Human. It might be only exclusive to Sony. I'm not sure. I only played it on PlayStation, so I don't know. But it has to do with how you pretty much play through the eyes and the perspective of a robot. Or an android, I guess you could say. An android. Looks human to the T. Talks like a human. Acts like a human. Like, you could be an android, for example, and, like, you couldn't tell. Like, that's how close they are to human. And they have, the only way you could tell is they have their, like, this little sensory chip that kind of glows. That's how you can tell. And you pretty much play through the eyes of, like, a few different androids, and you make decisions as the androids in this society in which you live. And there's a lot of certain situations that you're put in that have to deal with, like, your ethics. Like, do I not do this behavior and act? Like, so one of them is a cop, or they're a crime detective that helps cops. So whenever there's a crime scene, they send this android to, like, search through, like, the room, and, like, it can test for blood and stuff like that, and be able to register and be like, oh, like, this is a human's blood, or this is from an android's system, whatever. It's insane. And you can act accordingly as if you are treating this android like a human, or if you're like, androids aren't humans, there's no way. But, like, you genuinely, like, for me, I had sympathy for them because one of them was being abused by its owner, and I was like, fuck that. So then it's like, whoa, what if somebody, because it's going to come to a point where people have them as, like, maids, I guess you could say, stay-at-home maids to help clean the house or whatever, help clean the kitchen, do the dishes. If people are rich who can afford that, like that's what they had in the game, because this takes place way in the future. And sometimes the owners would abuse the androids. Like, imagine if you had, like, a robot that just helps and it just somehow malfunction a little bit, and you just slap it upside the head. Like, it's a robot, so it doesn't have feelings.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's
but
not...
like, what if you were the robot? That's kind of what the game does. And it really makes you think.
That would be hard.
About these things. So a lot of jobs are going to be replaced by AI and robots and Android. Like, it's just a matter of time.
It's like definitely some industries you're going to see just disappear.
I think grocery stores, the cashiers, they're going to be gone. It's just a matter of time, in my opinion. Like, people are just going to be able to go in the grocery store, and I don't know if you saw, there's certain stores where you could pay with your fingerprint now, or just your, like...
I wouldn't trust that.
Yeah, there's certain stores where, like, they can scan your handprint, and you just show it, and it'll sync that to your, like, debit card or whatever, and you could just pay for it. So imagine you just
want to attach my hand to my fucking debit card. Hell no.
Yeah.
No.
Just constantly getting food.
Like, no, like, someone hacks that shit, I'm done. Like, still your whole identity.
Oh, no, it's going to get ugly. Things are going to get real ugly. But the more advancements we make, whether we realize it or not, the easier life is getting. To where it's so easy, now it's hard. Hence, you're making advancements to help when it comes to certain things, but you're not realizing that it's taking people's jobs.
Yeah.
So it's, do you want the job done more efficiently? Or do you want it done a little more inefficiently, but there's more people hired? these are things to think about.
Yeah, those are things to think about, and we definitely still need to, like create a world that like is sustainable for people to live in.
Yeah.
Like, like it shouldn't be that you have to live paycheck to paycheck to be able to like afford a studio apartment,
Right.
and also afford education at the same time. Like, I'm still living at home at this point in time. Like, I would like to move out. I don't know when that is going to happen.
Tough times in the economy.
Yeah, no, I'm not. And the rent increase is just, killing
It's
people.
crazy. My mom was moved out of her house by like 18. And she always brings that up to me. I'm like, Mom, do you know how expensive it is now compared to your time?
Yeah, no,
like, you
exactly.
see it. It's crazy. But, yeah, I don't know. I think we'll all find a way.
We will,
Somehow.
definitely.
I think, I will say this. Let me ask you this. Do you think that we will have a colony on Mars before we die?
Who knows? Really depends on, what ambitious fucking billionaire wants to do next. Like,
I think Musk said that he wants to start like the terraformation on Mars.
well, Musk
I
is
think
full of shit. So.
I think it's very possible by like 2070 we have like a classroom of people just chilling on Mars.
This is
kicking it.
Yeah, I mean, this is where I'm actually fine with sharing my opinion, but I think he's just like a stuck-up Nepo baby who...
You think so?
Yeah, who's just like toying around with like whatever money he can get.
Well, that's what he did with Twitter.
That's what he did with
He
Twitter.
had so much money, he changed it just because he could.
He killed it.
You think so?
Like there are journalists who are moving in Exodus off the app now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what else changed besides the logo?
Well, because
so far?
again, like there's no filter for like misinformation now on there, so like...
Oh, right, because didn't they put... And didn't it also start with Kanye because they started filtering out? Well, they don't tolerate hate speech, but
well, yeah,
but there's like certain things that you genuinely like they would censor you out, right? Or they would.
Yeah,
Wasn't
like
there something.
It was something like that, but again,
and he opened that back up.
Yeah,
Pandora's box.
He basically just like got rid of some restrictions, like again for like like hate speech and misinformation, because he just wanted to like stroke the fucking culture war or whatever you want to call it now. But yeah, no, I think he's just fucked.
What do you think about? Okay, so maybe not him, but let me ask you this: what is your opinion on people wealthy enough to freaking end world hunger or something like that? What are your thoughts on those kind of people?
On those kinds of people, it's like,
the 1%.
The 1%. Well, they're at a point where they're actually being protected because, again, we have changed the laws. So, and this is, again, I'm trying not to talk too much about
yes.
politics because obviously
yeah,
I
no,
like
of course,
to
I'm just
remain non-biased.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think a big thing is obviously, we have, given them so many tax exemptions to a point where, like, they're safe. Like, they don't have to give up their wealth. Yeah. And meanwhile, like, everyone else... like the 99% do have to like struggle. Mm-hmm. It's just it definitely contributed to like the state of the world in a way. I will say that.
Do you know what really made me sad the other day? And I saw this. I forget where, but it was a headliner. It was talking about how Biden is sending reparation, like relief money, whatever you want to call it, to Hawaii. And I think he was only given I think it was like $700 a household or something like that.
Which is ridiculous.
I saw that. Listen, politics aside, from a common sense standpoint, for me, you don't need to insert your opinion as a journalist, like if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Because I want to protect you. It's great. So hire him. If you're a journalist, hire him. He's great. This is me talking. From a standpoint where I'm just looking at it, just looking at something. I don't care. I don't have any feelings towards something, but if you're just looking at it, right? Mm-hmm. We live in the United States of America. This is our home turf, I guess you could say. If you want to make it like sports, this is our home turf. Mm-hmm. Okay? Hawaii is a part of our home turf. I have seen us send not millions, billions, which I, at this point, feel like is an imaginary number because I will never see that amount of money in my life, being sent overseas to all these other places all the time. Mm-hmm. And it's great to help. It's great to help people. I love helping people. Shit, I'll help someone that's starving down the street. I'll give him, buy him a sandwich or something. Okay. All that money, tons of money being sent to all these other people, and you can't even help out people within our own place. This isn't even a Biden thing because this has been going on for years.
Government. Basically,
we still have all these rundown neighborhoods. We still have all these problems within our own place. We can't even help our own people out.
That's definitely.
That's what I think about it. That's what keeps me up at night.
Well, that's a good thing to bring up because we do spend millions and millions of dollars on shit that's happening overseas that really we should not be involved in. But then, like when shit hits the fan at home, it's like, oh, well, we can only do so much. Every hand's tied.
They're like, oh, yeah, we can only do so much. Here's a can of beans. Oh, yeah, we're going to give you $1 billion. It's like, what the hell?
I actually have a story my mom brought home last night because my mom, she's self-employed and she works at a bunch of different shows around Northeast, again, to like expose her business.
It's awesome.
But she was talking to a business owner who recently they had to move their store from Brattleboro, Vermont. Brattleboro is it's about 20 minutes once you cross into Vermont on 91. It's like a city. They're moving it to Keene, New Hampshire, which is 15, 20 minutes up the road from them because Brattleboro has had a huge problem with crime over the past 2 years since COVID. Because what happened during COVID apparently is, and I did a little research on it, they were opening up these hotels for free so that people could go and stay because obviously people were really getting affected by it.
Yeah.
But then obviously things started to quiet down. You're hey, we have to get this all back up and running. But then you had tenants who just were not getting out, who were just staying there, people, and then the crime went up as well. It was people getting stabbed, killed,
insane,
as well as a bunch of panhandlers in the city as well. And apparently a bunch of businesses have moved out of Brattleboro.
There's been a lot of crime going on a lot recently, it feels like.
But also another thing about Brattleboro as well is that they have a huge opioid problem as well.
Dude, has been going on with that? Every time I turn on the news, I'm hearing overdoses and laced things and oh my
especially
God.
Well, Southern Vermont in general has had one.
Damn.
Rutland, Bennington, Brattleboro, all the big cities in that state have been
so heartbreaking.
Ravaged by it.
It's wild.
But the big problem is that the city of Brattleboro does not want to do anything about it. So people are being forced to just up and go with their businesses.
What is that?
So
man?
it's a lose-lose for everyone because one, the homeless population does not get helped, and they're creating their own cities as well with tents and stuff, and because again a lot of them do have mental health problem or drug problems and just don't want to be housed. But also again you're also not helping the people who want to live in the city as well, raise their families there as well as have their businesses as well. So everyone kind of just loses in a way.
I don't know. I just remember growing up, and there was crime and there was lots of bad things going on. I didn't really pay attention to the news nearly as much, and I still try not to now, but it's always in your face, so it's kind of hard not to.
It's hard to ignore.
Right?
But
the
thing about
I just remember when, and this isn't, I would never, ever, ever, ever promote hate speech. I'm not even going to incorporate this, but you could say or do certain things without being demonized or seen as a piece of shit, or you can, I don't know, life just seemed a little more carefree, a little more loose. Everyone had a lot more thicker skin. I feel like there wasn't as there was the drug war back then, but now I feel like they're resurging.
It's
there's just a lot more toxicity and a lot more mental health is at an all-time high.
Well, I think also another
what is
thing
going
is
on?
We've invested in these sort of services to help people out with these issues. I think for one, so of course it's going to be more talked about.
Oh, for sure.
Because definitely it's the landscape is different than it was 30, 40 years back, for sure. But
oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I just feel like we're all in a rut right now. I feel like we're in a point where this country's kind of someone getting ready to go to a party and they don't know what they want to wear to the party, and it's do I want to wear this? Do I want to wear that? I think we're just still trying to figure it out.
I think
we're trying to figure out what we want to wear.
Are trying to figure out. We're still a very young nation. That is for
we
sure.
Are we going through it? Is this the puberty stage? Is that what we're going through right now? Growing
possibly.
pains.
Granted.
Growing pains.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I will say otherwise though, besides the news, I think there's definitely been stuff that has happened this summer, that can be celebrated or noticed. For one, we've had obviously the Barbenheimer phenomenon.
Dude, I still haven't seen either.
I
of
haven't
them.
seen either of them either. I'm
It's
really
pissing me
mad.
off.
Like,
I gotta get on that.
but and like also like it had like some really great tours. Like, you had like Beyonce's tour, Taylor Swift's tour. And,
I
like,
heard
they
Beyonce's tour has been a little. I've heard good things,
Yes.
but I've also heard bad.
Yeah.
I've heard Taylor Swift's concert blows her out the water.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. I mean, like I think developed like $2 million in revenue now or something
Damn.
like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think everyone just wants to have fun. I think that's the thing. It's
I
just
think
been
everyone does wanna have
so
fun.
bleak the last like 2-3 years, and
Yeah.
we're all just like, you know
I
what?
think we
We're
definitely-
tired of this, and
yeah.
we want to focus on something else.
Yeah, we
Like,
definitely had a step back when it came to COVID. And I think we're all trying to learn how to be a society again.
Yeah.
Because everyone, as soon as things hit the fan, it's like we went back to a barbaric age. Real quick. Everyone was wiping out the grocery stores and
Yeah.
crazy times. Crazy times. And then when it came to the vaccine, it's you're a piece of shit if you don't get it. You're a hero if you do. I don't know. Like the whole civil war about that,
Yeah, I keep my.
which we don't got to get into, but it was just so ugly. Every time
Yeah,
you opened your
there was
phone,
this-
it was this, that. It was they said
And
this.
I also feel like another thing is also because like the social media and smartphones, like everything's just been elevated to a degree. It's easier to get that kind of exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. But people like you are gonna get this ship turned around. Hopefully.
I am hoping so too.
Hopefully, because we really have to stress more to the people. Because I feel like it sounds like, I don't want to say you sound like an outcast if you say this, but it's a genuine thing to say. Make sure that you're reading something that's real news.
Exactly. Like definitely
that's
check
not even
your sources
like
for one.
I'm not even affiliated with a political side, but I feel like when people say those kinds of things, people are like, oh, he must be this. Like, no. Just make sure what you're reading is real. If someone texts you, if you get a text from somebody, okay, like you got that text from the person's whose number that you have. Like, you know who they are.
Yeah.
You got it from them. But if you're getting texts from like random numbers telling you stuff, like, you gotta just believe it off the rip?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I get like a spam text, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not clicking on that.
No.
It should be the same way when you come across like a really sketchy news article on Facebook. Like, is this real? Like, look up the news organization that is publishing this and ask, and be like,
especially so you don't look dumb when you bring it up and then someone fact checks you.
Yeah, exactly.
And boom.
And I think that's where also we fell apart with COVID, with all the misinformation that was being spread about, how you can treat COVID, like drinking bleach. Like,
oh my God, I remember that.
Dumbest
Tide
shit in the world.
Pods.
Tide Pods. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
People were like, yeah, you can.
Growing pains. But on a lighter note, let's move a little bit away from this.
Yeah,
I feel like this was a very stimulating convo.
Yeah,
I feel
definitely.
like people definitely
This
learned
is
something
like-
from it. If you're listening and watching, appreciate you.
Yeah, I hope you are.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I know that the radio room is filled with lots of drawings, stickers. Obviously, you guys have all your stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like the radio room is definitely one for the culture when it comes to anime.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You and I haven't really chopped it up, but you've seen some animes now,
I've definitely
right?
seen some animes, that's for sure.
Yeah?
I've been trying, this summer, I've really tried to make an effort to watch more shows.
Yeah?
Because
Well, yeah,
it's
what you been watching? Tell me about it.
So, I mean, I've kind of been all over the place and, what, sorts of, TV shows, whether it's, a lighthearted comedy or if it's, a shonen anime or something.
Mm-hmm.
But, one of the ones I've been watching right now, it's a comedy drama. It's called Somebody Somewhere. It's on HBO Max. It actually is, semi-autobiographical. It's about a comedian. But it's very much, it's real people. It is, my sense of humor very much. It's very just light and sweet. And, again, that's also what I'm saying is, people want more of that.
Yeah.
Right now. So it's if you want a good comedy sort of mockumentary sitcom sort of thing, that is the place to go for that. I will say in terms of anime right now, I have been really hooked on Jujutsu Kaisen.
I just started it a few days ago.
Did you start?
I'm on episode 9.
Episode 9 right now.
So freaking good.
So let me
It's
tell
so
you, when I
good.
watched it, it clicked with me instantly.
No, me too. No, after the first episode, not many shows can get you hooked on the first episode.
Yeah, no.
Attack on Titan, first 5 minutes, I was like, what the
Exactly,
heck?
yeah.
Yeah, the hook for that show was wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a great show.
Yeah, no, I really.
It's very good so far.
And obviously, they released a new season of it.
Are you already on the second season?
Right now I've finished the first 5 episodes. End of the month is when they're releasing the next arc.
So they dropped the first 5 episodes for season 2.
Yep, and now they're just waiting
So
2-3 weeks.
I'll be caught up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha. Dude,
But,
nice.
Yeah, no, honestly, like, and then so I finished the first season, and I watched a movie as well. The first season's based off of actually the first chapter that was ever released of it, which is completely separate. It's kind of separate from, like, the first, like, volume of it, because the first volume was released in 2018. This first one was released in Shonen Jump in, like, 2017, I believe.
So you're a manga reader, too?
I've read that manga.
I've been getting into a little bit because of freaking One Piece, man.
One Piece is the one series I refuse to touch.
One Piece has had me by the damn collar, by the neck. I've always refused to read manga because I said I will never spoil something for myself. I'll take it week to week. But right now it is so good that I've been just itching to keep reading ahead.
Yeah.
But all of my friends keep holding me back. They're like, just wait for this arc to end and then you can go.
Because what happened with Jujutsu Kaisen was I watched first season, I watched the movie, and then obviously I knew second season was dropping, but I also just was, part of me was like, I want to know what happens in these arcs, and I've been, and I'm like at the point where I'm all caught up, and let me tell you, like, the series does get way more intense, as you keep going, so definitely keep watching.
I can only imagine. Yeah, my theory is that, and try not to react with any facial.
I am not going to.
But my theory for anybody, if you're not interested in this, fast forward, pause it, as long as you liked and subscribed, I appreciate you. But my theory is that when he gets all the fingers and truly develops into, I believe the name is Sukuna. Yes. It's going to be right in line with this execution date. And I don't think this dude's getting executed at all. I think him and Sukuna are going to be like, dude, we're not going to die. I don't think we should die at all. And they're like, you know what? You're right. I don't want to die. And he's like, I got you. I can help you. And then they somehow like form into this like fusion being. That's just a theory. Don't say, try not to react.
I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone who's listening who likes the series. I will not spoil anything. Do not worry.
That is my theory. I only just took what I saw from episode 1. That's my theory throughout the show.
Yeah, I will say that was also another thing too. I really liked about like that first volume in episodes again, like the control that Yuji has over Sukuna.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was very cool.
Which is apparently again like a once in like 1,000-year thing.
Yeah, he's sick. Ichidori Yuji. Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, he's.
So, for what I like to do is anybody that's into anime, I like to try and get that person to kind of explain why it is they like anime and what kind of got them into it, just so like because people hear anime and they're like, this guy's weird, or like this person's weird. It's like those people. I
got a story for you.
Yeah. Let me hear this.
So it was kind of thanks to my mother, because she brought home a bunch of Ghibli films when I was younger and was like, okay, I found these at the library. We're gonna try watching them.
Nice.
So it was Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, Howl's Moving Castle, all those great movies.
I've seen Spirited Away. The other two on my list.
Yeah, those are equally as good.
Yeah?
But, yeah, I kind of I've always really liked Studio Ghibli movies, without a doubt. Both Miyazaki and Takahashi's work as well. They're, again, like the two big producers that studio had.
Is one of them the producers of Your Name? Have you ever seen Your Name?
I have seen Your Name. No, I don't think he is.
No. I love that movie.
That was a phenomenal movie.
That movie. Yeah. And Weathering with You. Both of those movies have a special place in my heart.
They really do.
Those
they made
movies
me tear up.
They're phenomenal.
Exactly.
My wallpaper, so when you come into the rec, we could talk about that in a bit. But whenever you come in, so where you see me sitting with the computer, my wallpaper, since I've been working at the rec, has been Your Name, where they're both meeting at the mountaintop.
Aww,
and then
that's cute.
And then the comet or whatever is flying above.
Yeah.
The aesthetics are just jaw-dropping. Gorgeous. Beautiful. Yeah, I freaking love that movie. Oh, my God. But yeah, anime is great, man.
It is, yeah. And it's the Ghibli movies, so again, like where I really started off. And then, like, once I got in, like, middle school, high school is where I started to get more into, like, like the shonen action genres.
It's so damn cool.
Exactly.
You learn a lot, at least for me.
Yeah, exactly.
I learned some things.
Definitely. I mean, my favorite shonen anime series though is definitely Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
I just finished that.
You
show.
did?
Just finished it. That's actually crazy. You brought that up.
I think I mentioned it to you when you on Chris's show. I was like, you asked me about it. And I was like, it's one of my favorite series.
I just finished it last week.
What do we think?
If I grew up watching the show, I would like it more than how I liked it.
Yeah, I was
But I
definitely,
currently
I
watched
was
it.
like in
Especially
high school when I watched that.
given how I binged it. Just like, that's the hard thing. How I grew up on Dragon Ball, so I kind of watched that in stride. But everything else I binged because like I wasn't really watching it. So I'm sure it hits different when you grow up with the characters or like you see episode to episode, week to week, that whole anticipation, which I could have from now on and on for the rest of my life. But it was a very good show. I definitely think it took me a little bit of time to get into it because it starts hot off the rip, but like you have to learn
absolutely.
you have to learn who's doing what and like who's this person, what's their purpose, and then eventually you kind of pick up on the vibe, and then once everything goes down where Envy does what Envy does to, I won't say the name, then it's like, all right, yeah, then it's like, whoa, shit's getting real. I think that's when I really got, but like the whole concept of, you know, two brothers just trying to make it in the world, and this the older brother's trying to keep a promise to his little brother. Like it's a very self-driven type of thing. Like you feel motivated when you watch something like that.
Yeah,
so
very much so.
I enjoy it.
That was again like one of like the first series that clicked with me.
And every list I look at, it's always in the top 3 when it comes to top ranked anime ever. I see Brotherhood always at the top, like the tippity top.
Yep.
And I can see why. Personally, there's a lot of other animes that I enjoyed more, but like it's not the fault of that show. It was great, at least in my opinion.
Yeah,
but it was good. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. Yeah, I enjoyed it for sure. Yeah. But I'm
even like like more like darker animes as well.
I love like Attack on Titan. I can't get enough.
Attack on Titans. Yep.
Can't get enough of that.
Definitely, probably. Well, in terms of movies, like darker movies, it's probably has to be Perfect Blue for me.
That's on my list too.
That's one I recommend.
So at some point, maybe over the winter, I really want to get into grinding and binging all the movies that I have on my list for anime movies, because I hear nothing but great things about all of them. All of them. Yeah, that's something I definitely want to do. But the shows are great.
Yeah, I like movies as well, but it's just like this show. It's like the anticipation, of course, of watching a new episode.
Yeah, I finished.
Like that's where I'm at with like Jujutsu Kaisen right now.
Yeah, I finished Naruto Shippuden.
I haven't watched Naruto in years.
I finished it earlier this year.
You did?
It's awesome.
Yeah, I watched that for a bit back in high school, and then I just I picked up another series and fell off.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot. I've seen a decent amount. Like I've seen Demon Slayer.
Yeah. I still have to watch the new season.
Let me make sure that I haven't forgotten anything else that I've seen. I keep track of all this stuff. Or at least I try to.
You keep it better than I do.
I started Hell's Paradise, but that I don't know if you heard of it.
I have not watched that one yet.
But it was started like the first episode was like promising, but I just didn't really get into it. Let me see. Bleach. I've been watching week to week. I freaking love Bleach.
That was another show that I really got hooked on, but granted, I didn't even finish it when I was watching it.
No, you have to. You just have to.
I have to. Honestly, I've been saying after finishing
Bleach it's peak right now. It's peak.
That's what everyone's telling me. That's why I want to start watching it again.
The stuff that I've been seeing every Saturday morning, because they be dropping on Saturday mornings.
And Saturday mornings, yeah.
It's so nice. It's so cool. What I will say about it is each person in this, the Blood War is what's going on right now, like the new updated version of the show. Everyone's just leveling up. And it is just peak. You're like, what am I watching right now? It's so cool. Yeah, but I
definitely got to get back on track with Bleach because I fell off on that end of high school.
Yeah, I want to see. Let me see. No. Let me go to my unwatched list. I'm telling you, I keep track of these things.
Better than I do. Because I do have certain albums and TV shows and movies and stuff that I want to watch, and I just I keep them in the back of my head, but just never write them down. I'm telling you, which is so weird as a writer.
It's a pain.
I would do that.
You just got to just sit down one day and just set them all up.
Yeah.
It's, like I said, it's a pain, but once it's set up, it's so nice. Let me see. I haven't seen Cowboy Bebop or JoJo's.
Please watch Cowboy Bebop for me. Please watch it.
I know it's a classic.
It is, and it's so...
It's not that long either.
It's 26 episodes. It's very digestible, and it's one, it's just phenomenally well done. Great soundtrack. Great. You can like the English dub too. Like I don't really like English dubs, but that's one I tell people watch.
So watch it in dub?
Watch it in English dub, yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's like free on Netflix as well. But it's so easy to get into, and it's like, interesting story, interesting characters.
Yeah.
All have like, cool backstories as well.
I have Hunter x Hunter. I haven't seen yet.
That's one of my favorites. I watched that in its entirety, yeah.
What about Death Note?
Death Note I have watched, yep. I haven't watched Death Note in years.
That's what I want to watch after JJK. For the fall time.
Yeah, because Death Note is also not very long either.
Yep.
So.
And then My Hero.
My Hero, I watched that for a little bit, and then I kind of fell off with it, but that's more just because like the arcs were like, like it was just changing, and I was just kind of like, I don't know if I'm really invested in this anymore.
There's a lot more I have on here, but I just wanted to name some of the bigger ones that I haven't seen. But yeah, I've been trying to get into it. Like, I've always been into anime, but not like into it, like truly just watching it. Like, I've always had the respect for it, but it's awesome.
Yeah, no, so absolutely. And I think my big thing about like anime too is like, it just allows me to like go into like a world that is not mine a little bit. I think also like even as someone again who's like working like on like like the front lines of like news and media, like it wears you out. And it's just sometimes it's like, oh, it's nice to like go into like a completely different fantasy world and like watch these characters interact and that sort of thing.
So I hinted at it a little bit a few minutes ago, but you are a tour guide on campus. Yes,
I am.
What's that life like for you personally?
So I have been doing this job for approximately a year and a half now. So that was when I got that job. I worked my last retail job before that, and I was like, fuck this. Low pay, slow days, and like I'm not doing well like physically, emotionally, academically. It was just so exhausting having an like, off-campus job at that time. But I got that job. I've been doing it for a year and a half now. Let me tell you, it can get repetitive at times because you're just
probably doing the
same route, pretty much. Showing people all these buildings, spin off the information. I do try to, like include some humor in it as well. Like, if I walk into rec center, you probably heard me say, if you're like me, like getting hit with basketballs while you run around, you can go run on the second floor.
I love hearing everyone's cadence. This guy Ethan's
awesome.
Is the greatest. You need to tell him that I said this because it's so funny. I know him and we follow each other on Instagram, but for some reason he somehow still doesn't know my name. Maybe because he doesn't realize that I'm the one who followed him. But he is the funniest guy.
So funny.
My day is so much better when he enters. He just enters. He's like, this guy.
He's like, he really has a good way of making people feel special.
And then I'll be like, wonderful air conditioning, And then like he'll do his whole thing. He is just the best. Yeah, ball of light that enters a room. That guy is peak tour guide. He took it to another level.
He was really just the energy I was looking for. I was like, we're gonna hire another person for this summer. I want them to have like
he's awesome.
Good energy. And I really tried, like spice up my tours as well. Like I definitely throw in like jokes and humor like every now and then too. Like but it's again like, it's a good on-campus job, and as you probably know, on-campus work is just, very convenient.
It's very convenient.
And it's the reason I was able to do as well as I did last year academically, because it's like everything's in one place.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the fall. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
We've lost some people.
Yeah, definitely.
Throughout this central journey, but we're living. This is actually my last dance.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many more semesters do you have?
This is my last semester.
Wow.
But I'm going for my master's, so I will still be on campus.
Nice.
My goal is to get a full-time job on campus to get it paid for. So I got to get on that ASAP. I keep saying that. I've been procrastinating it, but that's something I definitely want.
That's fine. I mean,
definitely want to do it, but I won't be going anywhere. It's my last dance, but like, is it really?
Yeah.
Is it really?
I mean, we're all close together. Like, it's.
Yep.
Of course, you're gonna see all of us
for sure. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the fall. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, it should be good.
Some things to do.
I am a little upset that one of my classes I was really excited for did get canceled.
Oh, I saw that.
"Quote unquote" low enrollment, which was bullshit, and
yeah,
it was such bullshit. Like, we're a small department, of course the class size is going to be small. What's new?
Right.
But at the very least, I have like 2 other journalism courses that I'm looking forward to. Mm-hmm. So there's that. And also, like, I'm taking for my minor, I'm taking like a visual communications course. You know who Ritzenhoff is?
Ritzenhoff is the one professor I haven't had, but I've heard the most about.
Yeah,
Amazing professor.
Yeah, that's what I have heard. So I was like, okay, I'll just sign up for her course then, because I was like, visual comm is, would be kind of handy too with what I want to do.
Yeah, I won an award before the semester ended with a bunch of other higher, not only to higher up students, just for if you have a 3.0 or higher GPA in your major, there's a certain group, I don't want to say group, organization, whatever it is, the Lambda Paeta Award. I was a part of.
Oh, yeah, I went to a few different meetings during the fall semester. Yeah, because Professor Moriarty, she runs that.
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
I had her for a public speaking class.
She was great.
Awesome.
Such a great professor.
Great professor. And then I had her husband this past semester for Intro to Mass Media.
Oh, she has a husband that teaches on campus?
Yeah, Hughes.
I don't think so.
Keith Hughes, yeah.
No.
Shout out to him, by the way. He was
Shout
an
out to him.
excellent professor, and he was like...
I'm sure he is if he's married to such a sweetheart. She was awesome.
Yeah, she was awesome. But he really, I feel like I have like a better understanding of media as a result of that class. And like he also like he knew how to engage everyone. Like he remembered all the students' names.
That's a big one right there.
Yeah, and he like very dynamic lectures. He would have us do activities in class as well, like that sort of thing. Projects were pretty they weren't. I don't want to say easy, but they were very like easy to engage with.
Gotcha.
Like, cause like obviously you're gonna have to put in work regardless, but it just really made it like enjoyable.
I hear that.
And that's what I like to see in a professor.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I told you I was going to ask you 3 things.
Yes.
At the very beginning.
Yes, you did.
Do you think you're finally ready to answer some of them? Because
this
has been great, by the way.
Yeah.
But you think you're finally ready to...
I think I'm ready to answer. I probably talked about some of this stuff at length already. So.
Movie or show or both recommendation. For the people or me, if I somehow haven't seen them, to watch.
I mean, my big thing right now, and I mentioned it, was Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. That was the one I want.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, watch it. I will say the animation quality is great. The story gets more intense, and it explains a lot of what happened in the previous season.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, like...
Okay.
So that's definitely... And just, like, especially the last 2 episodes that came out, like, the animation was just so great.
Album?
Or
artist, or both, if you want to give a shout out to them.
That's a hard one. I mean, there's been just, like, so much, like, different music I've been listening to. But if I had to give you one that I've been putting on rotation the past 2 days, it's Jeff Buckley's Grace.
Write that down.
Yep. It's just, he was a singer, very big in the 90s, but he passed away really, really young. Like, I think that was his only album also that ever came out, but it's just like a 10 out of 10 all around.
So Jeff Buckley's Grace?
Yes.
Like his Grace album?
Grace. That's the name of the album.
Okay. Nice. It's always nice to learn about new music.
Yep. So it's more like softer rock, sort of like folk indie sort of vibe. But he had such an incredible voice, and I think he was just gone way too soon.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely let you know what I think.
Mm-hmm.
Last but not least, some words of encouragement and or advice to anybody listening, whether it's just for us here at this table or to your future self.
It's a good one. I think my big thing is, and honestly, like, over the past, 5 years of my life, always strive for more for yourself and others. So, really just, I'm trying to, explain this the best way I can. Don't ever limit yourself to one place just because, things, are just, nice and convenient where they are. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, to stick up to what you think is right, to try new things. And I think a lot of us, have had that over the past 5 years, willingly or unwillingly.
For sure.
Yeah. So really, it's just, put yourself out there.
That's very well said, my friend. This has been great.
Thank you. Yeah, you've been awesome.
I appreciate that. I definitely think we should do this again in the future.
Oh, absolutely.
By the By then, you'll be even more seasoned as a journalist. I'm sure even more crazy shit's going to happen by then.
Oh, yeah.
Somehow.
I'm really looking forward to writing.
But I'm looking forward to seeing your progress. I'm looking forward to seeing how the journalism department progresses. I'm looking forward to seeing how the radio room, station progresses.
Can't
You guys
wait.
are awesome. You guys are the best.
I'm crossing my fingers that, everything, goes well this year.
I'm sure it will.
That, we have as great as a program as we did last year.
For sure. Everything always figures itself out.
Yeah.
You guys will be fine.
Definitely.
But this has been great, man. I really appreciate you for coming here. I appreciate everyone if you're still listening and watching. I appreciate all of you. My heart is with you all. I love you all very much. Ciao for now.
All right. Thank you.
Peace.